very specific thing to criticize. Anyways, our first segue is a bad pun. So let's get into my first story. And we're going to be talking about the EU launching their Mercosur deal without Parliament approval. This is by Sam McNeil. This is an update on this deal that's been going, what did I say before, like 21 years. I've been trying to get this deal through with Brazil, and what was it, like Brazil, Portugal, you know, Uruguay, Argentina. They wanted to make a trade deal with certain countries in South America. And it's just not gone through, and people keep on complaining about it, but they're just like, fuck it, we're pushing it through now, I guess. This is coming out of Brussels on AP News. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said today on the 27th of February that she will start to provisionally implement a massive trade deal with the Mercosur bloc of nations in South America, despite not having approval from European Parliament. The transatlantic trade deal is expected to create one of the world's largest free trade zones, covering more than 700 million people. There's a lot of people living in Brazil. Trade between the two tops, 110 billion euro or 129 billion dollars, and accounts for a quarter of global trade domestic product. In the whole earth, on the whole earth, it's a quarter of it, 25% of it. However, the deal has faced heavy criticism from Europe's agricultural sector and environmentalists who think they'll be, you know, not passing regulations that are required by European countries, and so they'll get, oh, well, they're allowed to use pesticides over there, so they have more product to sell, and now I'm getting cheated. It will likely create tough resistance by elected representatives in the European Parliament. For now, von der Leyen's move means she's basically sidestepping those lawmakers. Von der Leyen said, referring to the EU lawmakers without whose approval the agreement cannot be concluded. With the backing from European leaders, she said, the Commission will provisionally implement the ingredient after Uruguay and Argentina ratified the EU Mercosur deal on Thursday, the 26th of February. French President Emmanuel Macron slammed the move in remarks to reporters in Paris. For France, it's a surprise. A bad surprise, he said. And for the European Parliament, it is bad manners. Macron said he would work to make sure hard-won protections for farmers and health would be respected in the rollout. We will be uncompromising on the respect of these rules, he said, including heightened surveillance of sensitive sectors, safeguard clauses, mirror clauses, and notably for pesticides, and tightened sanitary rules in third countries. I will never defend a deal that is lax on what we import and tough on what we produce at home, because that is inconsistent towards European consumers, and it's criminal for the European sovereignty, Macron said. Reminder that French people really love their agricultural sector, so this is in the history of the France in the EU, they always argue about agricultural stuff. The deal comes in wake of a global trade shock from the tariffs imposed by the US and the throttling of critical mineral supplies from China that pushed the 27-nation EU to forge a raft of trade deals across the world, including Africa. Both Spain and Germany, backers of the trade deal, praised Leyen's move. Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul said in a state social media post that with Mercosur's deal implementation, companies of people from both continents can finally benefit from more prosperity and growth. Germany will work tirelessly to help tap the full potential of this historic agreement. Carles Curpo, Spain's economy minister, said that in an increasingly uncertain world, Europe cannot afford to fall behind. The Mercosur agreement is a major step in European Union's roadmap to become more independent and resilient. Along with Macron's remarks, other critics were also swift to condemn von der Leyen's move. Applying the trade deal now without the court's opinion and without MEP's consent would trample over the democratic process, said an open letter signed by 171 environmental, labor, and agricultural groups in Europe and South America, which called von der Leyen's provisional implementation a democratic scandal. At a time when many in our society feel sidelined and are losing faith in political processes, opting for provisional application would be profoundly anti-democratic. It would risk inflaming tensions within EU countries as well as between them. Von der Leyen is likely to shrug off the criticism, as she has in the past, to advance a deal she described as vital for EU survival in a newly disordered world. Reminder, this is her last time she can be president or prime minister of the what is she again? Leader of the European Commissioner President. This is the last time she can be this is her last, like, she can't get elected again, so she just doesn't care, right? She's gonna get past what she wants to get past and be provisional if she wants, and she has nothing to lose, really. So yeah, that's where she sits, at least. And you are allowed to criticize her for it, but what is she? She doesn't care, I guess. This is about resilience. This is about growth and Europe shaping its own future, von der Leyen said in a news conference. No questions were allowed because she doesn't care. What are you gonna do? De-elect me? She's surpassed like 7 or something votes of no confidence since she's been in the president's seat. So she's kind of a devil-may-care attitude right now. Our businesses, our workers, our citizens will reap the benefits, and they should reap them as soon as possible, she added. Mercosur embodies the spirit in which Europe is acting on the global scene. She acknowledged that the agreement can only be fully concluded once the European Parliament has given its consent, and said the Commission would continue closely with EU institutions, member states, and stakeholders to ensure a smooth, transparent process. European lawmakers voted in January to challenge the deal at the European Court of Justice, which could delay it for years or even derail it. Even without any obstacle for the court or the parliament, the deal could still take months for it to go into effect. They're just delaying, hoping she's going to be out of office by the time they delayed enough, and then it'll never happen. I don't know why they're so against it. I don't know what Europe's alternative is, right? Continuing to sell because right, the idea here, which I'll reinforce again, right? I'm selling bananas to Europe. I'm in Brazil and I'm selling bananas, okay? There's a banana grower in, I don't know, Gibraltar. I don't know where else they could sell. Let's say it's in Gibraltar. I feel like they could probably grow bananas there. They have to follow all these regulations, right? They have to go through these different paths in order to sell their bananas in the EU. But with this deal, right, this isn't factual. They're just saying, but what if the people in Brazil are bypassing our regulations, and then you're buying a banana that's larger because they use, I don't know, genetic manipulation to make their bananas bigger. And then I, the banana grower in Gibraltar, will lose out. No one's gonna buy my bananas because those big bananas from Brazil exist. And then I'm gonna go out of business, and me, an EU farmer, will go out of business. This is unfair. And that's the whole problem with this delaying of passing the deal. It's all politicians and farmers and environmentalists and everybody going, what if? What if? What if this happens? What if this happens? Is it happening though? Do you have any proof it's happening? Data not found. I don't know. Anyways, I'm ready for your bad pun.
Okay, bad pun goes like this. I got a joke. How many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb? That's the best pun I can come up with.
I don't know. 420.
No, a Brazilian.
Oh, a Brazilian! That is indeed a bad pun. Sorry, I was not ready. Let me do.
That's a lot. Brazilian is a huge number. It's weighed in a quadrillion, I believe. Like there's 100 zeros.
So there's so many in a Brazilian. I can't even tell
99 zeros in one Brazilian.
99. All right, 99. My next story is shorter, and it's going to be about Denmark destroying. They've destroyed it. Supposedly, Denmark has become the first EU country to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of disease. Not all the diseases ever, specific diseases, but still, that's something to celebrate. This is on Jylland Poste, which is a Danish paper. Denmark is the first country in the EU to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis. This is stated by the Statens Serum Institute, SSI, in a press release. For many years, we have had regular screenings of pregnant women and ensured rapid treatment. This means that children in Denmark today are not born with HIV or syphilis, says Maria Westman, senior physician and sector head at SSI. Denmark had received a certificate from WHO for having officially stopped infection in this way. The certification is a step in the continued work to protect future generations from infectious disease. So it's kind of like when they say, yeah, whatever. I'm trying to think of a country that recently did this, but I can't think of a single country. Mali. Mali has destroyed the continued spread of measles or something, right? I don't know. It's not like there's none happening, but they've got it to a point, right, that a majority of people don't have to worry about transmission anymore. The certification is a step in the continued work. Behind the certificate lies extensive national documentation, which has been prepared by SSI in close collaboration with key players across the Danish healthcare system, writes SSI. WHO writes on its website about Denmark's recently achieved goals. Denmark's success in a testament to the country's maternal health system and long-standing goal of reaching all pregnant women who need help. There are already 22 other countries that have been validated by WHO as part of the organization's global effort to stop mother-to-child transmission. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease. Many people with the disease do not experience symptoms and do not notice them. Pregnancies in which the mother has not been treated for syphilis lead to complications such as premature birth, low birth weight, congenital malformations, or stillbirth in 50 to 80% of cases. Ugh! Tragic. HIV is a virus that is transmitted through bodily fluids. The disease weakens the body's immune system by attacking the white blood cells. The disease can be passed on to the child during pregnancy if the mother is not treated. According to WHO, Denmark has the lowest rate of HIV and syphilis in pregnant women, I guess in the world, in the EU? Let's go with in the world. So good job. Don't have to worry about accidentally transmitting disease to your child if you happen to have it and don't know. So that's something to celebrate. Less babies, dying of stillbirths and other getting HIV itself, right? Just babies born with HIV. Very tragic. I don't know if you can tell a pun about that.
Oh, well, it's easy to make a pun. I'm just glad that everybody get all the aid that they need. Just right there in the disease.
I got it.
Too easy. Sorry.
It's too easy, right? I don't know if they've solved the AIDS problem. I think it's just HIV, but...
yeah, I'm just saying it's... I didn't say they solved it. I just said they were getting all the AIDS.
Exactly.
Aid that they need.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, thank you for your puns. They were hilarious.
Let
me roll our segue for... They were good puns. Let's roll our segue for our next stories from your side of the...
Puns. Wait a minute.
The scroll. You have more puns?
You more puns, you said?
No, I thought you said you had more puns.
No, I can't possibly have more puns.
Our next segue is a haiku, so give me some stories to make a haiku about.
You're gonna have to use your brain. Department of... let's talk about El Paso. We'll talk about El Paso airspace being closed for no apparent reason last week. But, apparently they have shot down, the Department of Defense, the Army base there, has shot down a drone that belonged to the United States because increasingly our government is incompetent and it's not going to get better. And we got 3 years of this crap. Department of Whiskey Pete shot down seemingly threatening drone within the military airspace near El Paso, says Andrew J. Polk of KVIA. It's a local ABC radio TV station in El Paso. Here's the quote right here. Department of War, they call themselves. It's not the Department of War. It's called the Department of Defense. war crimes, maybe Department of War Crimes. At the
Department
Department of War Crimes, the FAA, and the CBP issued this joint statement to ABC's at Stinky the Cloud's direction. The Department of War Crimes, FAA, and Customs and Border Protection are working together in unprecedented fashion to mitigate drone threats by Mexican cartels and foreign terrorist organizations across the Mexican border. No, you're not. You're blowing your own drones out of the sky because you're incompetent. That's what you're doing. The report.
Whose drone is that? Shoot it down. Ask questions later.
That's right. Fucking kill it. Kill it. That's what you got when you got the Department of War Crimes. The report engagement occurred when the Department of War Crimes employed counter unmanned aircraft system authorities to mitigate a seemingly threatening unmanned aerial system operating within military airspace. The engagement took place far away from populated areas, and there was no commercial aircraft in the vicinity. Agencies will intend to work with increased cooperation and communication to prevent such bullshit in the future. Temporary flight restriction was already in place around the Fort Hancock area. According to the FAA, the TFR has been expanded to include a greater radius to ensure safety because the location of TFR does not impact commercial flights. So there's not a whole lot of information. All we know is a lot of releases. The regional and national lawmakers posted a reaction on Thursday night to the flight restrictions. Democrats in the House Committee on Transportation Infrastructure posted a joint statement from Rick Larson of Washington, Betty Thompson, Mississippi, Andrea Carson of Indiana, and they're putting official statements on X. So you need to stop doing this shit. Ranking members' statement is, our heads are exploding over the news that the DoD reportedly shot down a Customs and Border Protection drone using a high-risk counter-unmanned aircraft system. We said months ago that the White House decision to sidestep bipartisan tri-committee bill to appropriately train CUAS, now UAS stands for Unmanned Aircraft Systems, operators, and address the lack of coordination between the Pentagon, DHS, and FAA was a short-sighted idea. Now we're seeing the results of this incompetence. Exactly. Well, left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing in our government, and that's just going to lead to more disasters. We're going to see a civilian aircraft being blown out of the air. Mark my words. There's going to be American civilian aircraft.
And a cover-up, of course, like you were talking about yesterday. More cover-ups.
Oh, we had to blow it. Yeah, we had to blow it out of the air. It looked like foreign blah. Oh, our guys have had 7 minutes of training. So there's your incompetence on display. Let's have us a haiku. About
Silent skies above. A drone falls from trusted hands. Faith shattered in flight.
There's just nothing to say. There's just nothing to say about this gross incompetence.
The scariest thing about this is you're shooting drones out of the sky and they land on your house or, and kill somebody,
Yeah, and they're not little drones, by the way. CBP drones.
No, they're huge. They're the size of like 2 people, and they're heavier than 2 people.
Well, the CBP drones I worked with were the size of an airplane. So
yeah.
They weren't small.
Yeah, you're right. They're even bigger than that. I've seen smaller ones, though. Like military drones they're pretty big.
Smaller ones, but they're not releasing the data and information. They don't need pictures of it, probably. Somebody out in the desert probably found it, but I'm just saying, it's
you can actually get in trouble for scrapping government property as well, by the way. It's a felony.
Yeah, it ain't gonna get better. We got 3 more years of this. This is why I do not want to fly. I will not fly commercially in this country. If it's to leave the country, yeah. Coming back, I'll be like all the way back. Coming back, I'll be like, oh boy, I hope I don't get blown out of the sky by one of these fucking untrained piles of shit that decided that they want to kill civilians, That's all this is, by the way. A lot of these people aren't qualified. They don't even have a security clearance. And I'm telling you this right now. You can't use these systems without a security clearance. But they don't care. They don't care. They just get off on killing people. That's who they are. That's who they hire now. People that get off on... I'm totally serious. Anyway, being a little less serious, we're going to talk about another reaction to a snowball fight. Oh, yeah. The Gotham has this. Ben Freyherd and Charles Lane. Manhattan District Attorney drops assault charge in Washington's square ball fight. Yeah, snowball fight. That's it. You heard that right. Man, to pursue an assault charge against Jusman Kolabale. Oh, an immigrant. Look at that. On Thursday, instead of charging him with a misdemeanor obstruction government administration and harass violation in connection with a viral Washington Square Park snowball fight. Yeah, it's viral, so everybody saw it, so it must have been a crime, right? So they charged him with a which he didn't even commit a misdemeanor. Coulibaly, 27, was arraigned in Manhattan criminal court on Thursday evening, release hours after an NYPD announced his arrest in the case of stemming from a massive snowball fight after Monday's. Said after reviewing the evidence, they were unable to prove that an officer suffered a physical injury. It wasn't like somebody threw a sandwich at him. Caused directly Kolabali's conduct, and therefore did not pursue an assault charge. The investigation remains ongoing. Investigation. Go blow yourselves. After a uniformed officer sat in a courtroom along with union leadership, including police, benevolent state president Patrick Hendry. I want to hear these people crying about snow. It snow. Cold. Don't you understand? Snow is cold.
It hurt my feelings.
Speaking to
they
reporters after the
disrespected
arraignment,
me in public.
Hendry questioned why prosecutors did not pursue an assault charge. This was a blatant attack on the uniform that they wear so proudly every day. Coulibaly was represented by defense attorney George Valkis. Can we make name easy to pronounce? Who pushed back on that characterization. It didn't look like an attack to me, he said, referring to the video of an incident. In court, Valkis argued that the case amounted to, at most, a summonsable offense and asked the judge to release us without bail. Coulibaly was ultimately released on supervised release. Supervised release, what does that mean? He's got to check in. I don't know if I can learn what that means. What's he going to do? I'm going to skip the country for this misdemeanor. I don't think so. Police had initially said Coulibaly was arrested for allegedly assaulting police officer who was stuck with ice during the gathering, but prosecutors did not include an assault count in the charging documents. Well, if assault is assault, what are you doing? Prosecutors also noted in court that Coulibaly was arrested earlier this month in Bronx County in a separate case and asked the judge to place him on supervised release. Oh boy. Prior to that snowball, he's a recidivist ball thrower. That's what he is. The snowball fight promoted on social media drew a large police response. 2 officers were treated for minor injuries, including a bruised eye and headache. Police said earlier this week. I was just saying, police getting involved in shit they shouldn't have been involved in with snowballs in a snowball fight. It's a snowball fight. It's frozen water.
It's like the sandwich thing
The
again.
bullets.
We
You
got a
shoot
lot of
people
comments
all
on that video
time.
where people are like,
Yeah.
let me throw a sandwich at you and see how you feel. It's like, well, I would be like, I didn't do anything, so I don't know why people are throwing sandwiches at me.
It's
The
how
police
hungry I
officers
am.
definitely do things that, you know.
Right. And when police lose deadly force, these badge sniffers are all over. Well, he must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, badge sniffer. I guess we just shoot people and justify it by saying, he must have done something wrong. Oh. Yeah.
Wild.
There you go. It's all right to charge this guy for having it. Don't apparently charge it a snowball fight. I have no
We'll
idea.
never
if anybody
know,
else
'cause they're
charged.
dead
It's just one
now.
guy. That was one guy responsible for this entire snowball fight, for one thing. Maybe there's more people charged, but either way, it's a snowball fight. I thought cops were supposed to be tough.
All right, is that the end of your
Now, if
story?
they're throwing rock, you got a cave. Yes. Haiku. Let's have it.
All right, my haiku is uniformed and tense, snowballs fly, laughter echoes, bravery in frost. They're so brave for surviving the snowballs.
That's so brave.
Heroes.
I guarantee 18, 20 police officers are going to get commendations and medals for bravery in it.
In the field, yeah.
Fight against the, whatever the hell it is.
Just leave, you know?
If you're that
I don't know,
fucking
just
fragile,
leave.
Why are you a cop? Why are you a cop?
If you can't have fun in a snowball fight, just leave. Just go home. I don't know.
Here's every other person showing a snowball fight. Cool, a snowball fight. Let me get some snow and join in. Cops. Oh, I was a.
And I mean, if I want to provide some similar footage of a snowball fight against police officers, there actually, when it snowed, I think back in January here in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, there was footage of police officers and people just on the street, like kids, teenagers, having a snowball fight with the police. And you know what the police were doing? They were throwing snowballs back and hiding behind cars and
what happened.
nose diving and stuff. That's a normal reaction to a snowball fight as per a police officer. Not suing them for assault.
These guys show up and try to.
Yeah.
We're gonna arrest people. We're gonna arrest people for throwing snow. How dare you throw snow?
Are you having fun in our fascist government? How dare you? Go inside.
Don't you know somebody can get hurt? Don't you know somebody can get hurt with that snow? Regulate everybody's behavior. I love it as they're all for small government, right?
Yeah.
And the government was just having fun, and then it's like, well, somebody got hurt doing that. Somebody get. Fuck cares. Free. It's supposed to be a free country. We know it's just a misnomer. We know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
God damn it. Let's just pretend we have a free country for just a little while. Just a tiny little fraction of our little lives. Pretend that we can have fun without the government cracking down on us. And by the way, if you still support Trump, fuck you. Anyway, so let's have a spin, I guess.
Let's spin our segue. Next segue is...
Nice haikus. Did I clap or no?
Looks like it's gonna be...
Sandwiches of snowballs.
Sandwiches of snowball. Mixed metaphor.
Is murdering people in fishing boats, but yeah, let's arrest people for snowballs. That's the kind of world we live in.
Yeah. My next story is coming out of... Where is my story? There it is.
What do we spend?
Coming out of the EU again, but this time we're going to be talking about abortion access in the EU.
You're not going to tell me.
With a mixed metaphor. This is by Evelyn Anne-Marie Dom and Vincenzo Genovese on Euronews. The decision comes in reaction to a campaign launched by Citizens Initiative, My Voice, My Choice. Wait, let me check my camera's not frozen, because it looks like it's frozen right now. It is frozen! Damn you, camera! Give me a sec. I'm like, why am I just sitting there looking like the most disgusted by something? Right, give me a sec, let me fix my camera freeze. I was hoping no technical difficulties today, but that was my first mistake.
Technical difficulties. Did I
Come on, camera. There we go. Okay. Song? We're back. You can see me moving.
We're sorry that our camera is...
So, the initiative My Voice, My Choice, which raised 1,124,513 signatures across all 27 EU member states, asked for improved access to safe abortions in Europe. This is something called a Citizens Initiative, for anybody who doesn't know. You can just say, hey, us, the citizens of the EU, want the Commission to look at this thing. And you get, I think you do have to get 1 million signatures, and then they will actually look into it. So this is that's a real thing. This is actual direct democracy happening in real time. The European Commission said yesterday, on the 26th of February, that member states can use an EU social fund to provide access to safe and legal abortion for women who are barred from doing so in their home country. So the EU supports abortion even if Poland doesn't, right? That's the idea. So if you need access to a safe abortion and you live in, I think Poland currently does not let you have one. I'm not sure, so I'm sorry if I'm slandering Poland right now. You can go somewhere else and they will help you pay for it. The decision came in response to calls by the Citizen Initiative My Voice, My Choice for the creation of an EU solidarity mechanism to guarantee safe and affordable access to abortion for all women in the EU. Member states can make use of the bloc's existing European Social Fund Plus, ESF Plus, which contributes to social, education, employment, and healthcare policies, voluntary and in accordance with their domestic laws to provide such support. The existing fund will support women who need to travel, support women in their own country, support women in remote areas, and support women without financial means, EU Commissioner for Equality Hadja Labib said yesterday on the 26th of February. The ESF Plus has a 142.7 billion euro budget for the period of 21 to 27, with funding allocated to countries determined by their population size. However, the Commission stopped short of establishing a new funding mechanism, which was requested by the European Parliament in a non-binding resolution adopted in December. Please, the Commission, create a budget specifically for abortion support. While no new legal instrument is being created, the Commission has formally acknowledged that the core objectives of our initiative can be achieved and outlined by a concrete pathway to implement its practice. Coordinator of the My Voice, My Choice initiative, Nika Kovac, said in a statement. My Voice, My Choice is a European Citizens Initiative, ECI, a mechanism that allows citizens to call on European Commission to propose new legislation. It's basically a people's lobby, right? Instead of a corporate lobby, it's a people's lobby. If an initiative gets the support of at least 1 million people across at least 7 EU countries, so there can't be 1 million people just in the Netherlands, it has to be 7 different countries, it must be discussed by the European Parliament, which it did discuss it in December, while the European Commission has a time frame to either set out a legislative measure or provide justification for not doing so. Which I guess their justification is that's what the ESF Plus is for. We don't need to make a new fund for this. You already have one. And you can take this statement to provide that, right? I'm allowed to take some for this. My Voice, My Choice did raise 1,124,513 signatures across all 27, not just 7, but they could found somebody to sign from every 27 EU country. As a result, the European Parliament approved a non-binding resolution asking to establish a financing mechanism to help women with no access to safe abortions in their home country. The proposal was backed by over 100 European members of Parliament, MEPs, who sent a letter to the Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen, increasing pressure on the institution ahead of its own decision. When 1.2 million citizens raise their voices, when the European Parliament sends a clear democratic signal, and when civil society mobilizes across the borders, the European Commission cannot look away, Kovacs said at a press conference following the decision on the 26th of February. In addition to attracting a large number of signatures, the initiative also sparked significant attention online. A strong online presence was really one of the crucial tools of this campaign, from collecting the signatures to applying pressures. Communication director for the campaign, Nika Povs, said, "Our online community was our strongest ally and our biggest weapon." Some EU countries have highly restrictive laws on abortion rights. A total ban is in force in Malta, where abortion is not allowed under any circumstances, while in Poland it is permitted only when conception follows sexual violence or when there's a risk to the woman's health. So I was right to name drop Poland there. In January 2021, the Polish Constitutional Tribunal banned abortions in cases of fetal malformation, which until then had been the most frequent reason for terminating pregnancies in the country, which some people would argue is seen as eugenics, right? Oh, your baby's gonna be born with, I don't know. What is that one? I can't think of anything right now. You're gonna know. So there's some that you already know they're gonna be born with certain disabilities, and then people are like, you can just take it out, terminate the pregnancy, and now they've said you can't do that anymore. Other countries have more relaxed laws, but the lack of legal protections that fully decriminalize abortion, wide service availability, nationwide health coverage, or government-led information on the matter. According to the European Abortion Policies Atlas 25, several EU countries have taken steps to guarantee the right to safe abortions. France, for instance, made it a constitutional right, while Luxembourg and Netherlands have removed mandatory waiting periods. If you want an abortion, we'll do it right then and there if we have to. But other member states have recorded new restrictions, increased harassment of abortion providers, and the spread of disinformation on the topic. So I guess if you want to have a safe judgment-free abortion, go to France, Luxembourg, and Netherlands, I guess. Those sounds like the countries you want to go to. Give me a metaphor, a mixed metaphor.
Had my mic off, okay. Abortions. And then this again, I'm a man.
Yeah.
So my opinion.
Without a uterus, by the way, just in case anyone
like
is confused. Yeah.
I'll never have to make a decision like, you know, like, hey, should this guy I barely like got me pregnant? Should I carry this kid for 9 months and he's just gonna take off? Should I do that? Or, you know?
Yeah.
So let's do it this way. Abortions are like having an eraser for that ugly weirdo who calls back anyway. Because as I explained to you in your title, be careful who you sleep with. You may be looking at that ugly bastard the rest of your life. Even if you never see him again, your kid's gonna look like him. And then be like, ah, yeah. So, again, eraser, start over. I didn't ruin my life after all.
Yeah.
So there you go. And again, if you're worried about kids dying, 8,000. And I've seen estimates up to 20,000.
Yeah, I think definitely for sure a lot of people don't take into account the 9 months you have to pause your life. Like, there's definitely things you can still do, but there's a lot of things you just can't do for those 9 months.
In this world, one child of starvation every 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So those, what's their life? Their life is starving to death. Okay, there you go. That's
my next story is a shorter one.
Yeah.
And it's about mosquitoes.
Jesus Christ.
I pulled one earlier today, actually.
Have a kid. That happens all the time for some reason. Yeah.
This is by Tom Metcalf on Science News. A DNA analysis traced the history of mosquitoes' initial human biting. Mosquitoes have been biting people for more than 1 million years and probably much longer, according to a new study. The analysis of 38 modern mosquitoes' DNA suggests an ancestral mosquito species developed a preference for feeding on early humans between 2.9 and 1.6 million years ago. So if you want to time travel to a specific time to get rid of mosquitoes, that's the time. Researchers write on February 26th in the Scientific Reports. So if you want to read the whole study, check out Scientific Reports. The team studied 11 mosquito species from the Anopheles luciferius group, chosen because they gave a good overview of the entire group's genetics. Some species were anthropholific mosquitoes, human feeders, including the Anopheles dirus, the Anopheles baimai, both of which spread malaria, while others feed only on non-human primates, mostly monkeys and or both. I didn't even know there were mosquitoes who just avoided humans. That's so interesting. The team used the genetic data to reconstruct the insect's evolutionary history from the mutation rates in their genes. That let the researchers estimate when mosquitoes first bit humans and where a submerged landmass called Sundaland, the remnants of which are now the Malay Peninsula, Borneo, Sumatra, and Java. The Leucosphaerus group was the first to adapt to bite humans, while other types of mosquitoes acquired this preference only in the last 10,000 years. So there's your other marker where to time travel to if you want to destroy the human-feeding mosquito. We were not expecting this group to have originated so long ago, says evolutionary biologist Catherine Walton of the University of Manchester in England. This most parsimonious explanation is that it was response to these early homonyms arriving. Sorry, I'm going to look up the word parsimonious because I don't know that word, and it's going to be our word of the day. Parsimonious, excessively sparing or frugal, exhibiting parsimony, sparing in expenditure of money, frugal to access, using a minimal number of assumptions, steps, or conjectures. Okay, so there wasn't a lot of them. There wasn't a lot of explanations on when they started biting humans. Before humans arrived, the mosquitoes had fed exclusively on the blood of non-human primates in the rainforest canopy. This was the insect's ancestral behavior, and previous studies indicate biting non-human primates began more than 3.6 million years ago. Archaeologists still debate when the first human ancestors from Africa spread into Asia, but the new study of mosquitoes' genetics independently suggests that the movement happened around 1.8 million years ago, and it matches a recent study that dates the oldest Homo erectus skulls in China to about the same time. So we showed up, and then they started biting us as soon as we showed up. Homo erectus must have lived in Southeast Asia in a large number to derive the mosquito's biting adaptation, which seems to have been based on the early humans' unique odor. You need an abundance of Homo erectus to really get an evolutionary change taking place, Walton says. And while only about 100 of the estimated 3,600 mosquitoes species have evolved to bite humans, the insects have been ruining quiet evenings ever since. Only 100 of the 3,600. I guess I shouldn't complain, huh? I mean, I still think it's too much, but we could be getting bit way more if all 3,600 mosquito species were snacking on our blood. So I guess count your blessings there.
Little suckers.
Yeah, little suckers. That's my story.
Okay, my metaphor. Sort of mixed metaphor. Mosquitoes are the migration. As you've known, most of the population of the world live in temperate zones. You know, we have at least 2 seasons. Mosquitoes thrive in the tropical zones. So right now, I can go outside, not a mosquito in sight. Not true in like Ecuador. Damn. You know? Yeah,
I mean, like I said, it's February and there was a mosquito buzzing around in my room. Like, what are you doing here? Like, go to sleep.
Malaria.
Why are you awake right now?
Malaria keeping human population back, that's all. Malaria and yellow fever, they also spread.
Yep.
I'm not exactly
malaria,
sure
good old malaria. All right, our next segue is a bad pun from me. So, take it away for your news stories.
Pun. Yes, most of the world's population lives between 40 degrees and 60 degrees north, which is a long way. You know, the equator. All right, let's do the corporate chain news again. The reason monopolies are bad and they were outlawed at the beginning of the 20th century is because they fixed the prices, and if you're competition, and you just pay whatever the rich guy wants you to pay, and when he raises prices, you're screwed. This is why monopolies don't exist. If you got one source for news, well, golly, they're just going to tell you what they want you to hear. So this is why this is bad news. We just got more news conglomeration. I don't watch TV news. I haven't watched CNN in years. I quit watching CNN when Larry King quit the show. So that should let you know. And
then you've just been watching a podcast. Years, I thought he had a podcast for a while, or interview thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did interviews. Yeah, plus he did interviews on other people's shows. He really retired, and plus he did commercials. So he did commercials after he was dead. But that's beside the point. To replace him, I click. We're watching this show again. Piers Morgan is horrible. So anyway, now CNN belongs to Skydance, or merger is going to be approved, but I guarantee it's improved because the richest guys in the world is bribing Trump, so it will be approved. Netflix backs out of the Warner Brothers deal. This is from GamesIndustry.biz. They got the story. I alternate sources all the time. Netflix backs out of Warner Brothers deal, declines to match Paramount Skydance's raised offer. Just really want to control what you see on the news.
Yeah, really big competition here.
The company that currently CBS and is, blurring the news for audience who just think, well, America's always right about everything. Yeah, those people. This transaction was always nice to have at the right price, not a must-have price at any price, says the Netflix CEO. So he's dropping off. Forget it, you raised the price. Netflix says it was up to Brothers Discovery after Paramount Skydance, Larry Ellison, and his son Was it Larry Ellison or?
I don't know.
Ellison.
Don't ask me.
Paramount will pay $2.8 billion permission fee. Paramount will pay $2.8 billion. I get just throwing money away because you see, because it benefits rich people for you to be ignorant and only, repeat you on a daily basis. When you're watching TV news anymore, you just that bullshit. I don't, because you're lazy. Stop being lazy. You don't learn. Go find out what life used to be like. Go find countries, people. Get a passport. The bad people get a passport, by the way. Paramount will pay $2.8 billion for money away. That's throwing money away, just down the drain. That WBDD is required to pay Netflix to term existing merger agreements. So Warner Brothers is like, we can't get out of Netflix and Paramount's. That's okay. I'm 150 billionaire. I got money to burn. I'll make that an interest today. Here's $2.8 billion to tear up that contract.
Woohoo.
Wow, they must really want CNN. Earlier this month, Paramount amended its $30 per share offer with enhancements that stand for the board to engage with Paramount's superior proposal. When you say superior proposal, I mean more money, right? More money in our pockets, and we're rich assholes. Right? Oh boy, you bribed us enough this time. Next time it won't be so easy to bribe. But keep trying. I don't know. People disgusting. WBD's board of directors determined that Paramount's latest proposal was superior to Netflix, not superior in any way. It's just more money. The streaming giant said the price Paramount's offer was no longer financially attractive, so we declined to match. We believe we would have been strong stewards of Warner Brothers' iconic brands, and that our deal would have strengthened, being preserved, and created more production jobs in the U.S., says Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters. This transaction always has a nice to have at the right price, but not a must have at any price. Yeah, Netflix is in business to make money, and fortunately for them, Larry Ellison has more money than he needs, and he can just waste it on fucking $2.8 billion buyouts of a contract that was already signed. It's just about that. He's pissing away $2.8 billion. Think about how much money that is. He's pissing it away. Why? What's the reward? What is so valuable that Warner Brothers has? The news. They can control the news. They continue Netflix business is healthy, strong, and organically powered by our slate and best-in-class streaming service. This year, we will invest approximately $20 billion in quality films and series that will expand entertainment offering consistent with our capital allocation policy. We'll resume our program. I was just laughing because it just occurred to me. Netflix is spending $20 million on entertainment this year. That's not even half of what Jeff Bezos gave Trump for that awful Melania documentary. For one documentary that nobody went to see. People bought tickets because their conservative think tanks are full of shit. They just buy up tickets, but nobody went to see it. It sold a lot of tickets. Yeah, it sold a lot. Nobody in the theaters. Nobody wants to see it. Melania, $1 billion. Amazon paid for that because Jeff Bezos has money coming out his ass, as Larry Ellison also does. I hate these rich bastards. On December 5th, Netflix announced its offer to acquire BD for approximately $82.7 billion, offering $27.75 in cash and $4.5 billion $4.50 Netflix common stock for each share of WBD common stock. Common stock that does not pay dividends. You can trade it though. You can sell it. And you can sell it easily. The defense agreement would have been seen Netflix acquire WBD's film studio. Now you got those numbers right? 87.2 and 27 for the common stock. Now let's look at Paramount's offer. $108 billion, which is $1 billion more. Hostile takeover, which Hostile again. They don't forget those $1 billion for the payoff for the tear up the contract, and all cash deal, and offered a per share offer of $30. Okay, I'm in Warner Brothers, and Netflix is only going to pay me $4.50 and yeah, that's not even close to being the right offer. Again, this offer it's chicanery at the highest level, and there's never going to be a problem with Trump approving it because he's a crook. You know, he's already approved it, so you don't have to worry about that. He's already taken.
And
a
if
bribe
anybody's
for
wondering
CBS
why
News,
he has to
right?
even,
CBS News doing his bidding.
I'm sure people are wondering why he even has a say in it. It's because the government has antitrust laws and stuff like that, anti-monopoly laws. So at the end of the day, they have to determine whether or not they agree or disagree that this is going against that law. So that's why he even has a say in it, right? That's because you can't trust
and yet SEC
corporations
has the
to
ability
regulate
break up
themselves.
monopolies. Next administration can appoint an SEC to break up these monopolies. Right? Fair. They're not fair. They quash competition. If your monopolies are good, you're not a capitalist. What you are is a fascist.
Yeah.
But so let's have us I forget what you were
Bad
mixed
pun.
metaphor, was it? Because we spin the
Bad
same
pun.
puns. Oh yeah, we already
Having a bad pun off, and I have 3, so I guess this is unfair.
Yeah.
But I was able to think of 3 of them
Right.
for this. So my first pun is, I also heard FedEx and UPS are merging together. They're going to be called Fed Up.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's bad. Wrong.
You know what? My business is up and down at the moment. I sell yo-yos.
That's a good one. Any more? You got one more story?
One more. I have a few jokes about unemployed
One more,
people,
okay.
but none of them work.
Oh no.
I love how our delay is so bad that I'm seeing you laugh like 5 seconds after I tell.
I thought you only fun.
Anyways, let's go to your next story.
I closed this soundboard. Okay, well, back in the war news, this is Afghanistan and Taliban, and the Pakistanis are getting along for whatever reason. I mean, the Pakistanis did hide Osama bin Laden for years and years. They're on the same side. I don't friggin' know. DW.com had a story. Darvi Wild and have the story from DW.com. What DW stands for. Both Afghanistan and Pakistan acknowledged fight on Thursday, albeit disagreeing markedly on exact developments on the ground, and there could be others engaged. The latest escalation of violence between uneasy neighbors and tensions that could ultimately lead all the way back to the Taliban reclaiming control of Afghanistan in 2021, thanks on letting all those assholes out of prison. So when we finally pulled out of Afghanistan, they had complete control. Yeah, he's in prison. Let him out. Works for Russia. Anyway, reclaimed control of Afghanistan in 2021, but which were most released Pakistani airstrikes inside Afghanistan. Both sides reported cross-border fire, both Al-Qaeda video player. The Taliban's government Zabihullah Mujahid reported fighting on the border region late Thursday local time. He portrayed it as a response to Sunday's airstrikes at Afghanistan, unauthorized incursion in response to the repeated rebellions and insurrections of the Pakistani military. Large operations were launched against Pakistani military bases and military installations. The Durand Line. We all know about the Durand Line. I might have to look that up. The Mujahid said in a post on what appeared to be a religious proverb. The Durand Line is the name. Oh, here's what it is.
Thanks for letting us know.
Two countries border. The border between is 1,622 miles. It's a long friggin' border. Mujahid followed this up with frequent posts some including an image, but most simply text claiming vigorous military gains along the border. Do we believe the Taliban? We have no reason to believe the Taliban. Most consistent formula announcing the capture of a military facility or a post in a given district with a stock sentence saying a large number of soldiers have been killed and wounded and some have been captured alive. A large number. What do we consider a large number? 8 million? I don't know what a large number.
I don't know.
Afghanistan's defense somewhere between 7 and 8 million. Let's put it in there. Afghanistan's defense operations were taking place in 5 provinces. The Taliban's deputy spokesman Hamdullah Fitrat said in the English language post that up to 50, there you go, soldiers. That's a large number. With the remains of 23 of them brought back to Afghanistan, that those number had been captured. So this is the kind of shit that had for territory captured and people killed. Again, the kill is a very, what do you want to, it's a nebulous claim in battle anyway, right? Isn't the purpose of battles to accumulate territory, not to kill people? I mean, it's nice
sometimes it is just to kill people. It's an excuse, right? To murder.
I'm just saying. We're bragging on how many lives we ended or permanently maimed. You know, actually, if you're losing a war, there used to be laws for this. But I guess it don't matter. You torture people. That's why people don't surrender. They're afraid of being tortured. That's why torture has been outlawed in wars. Because wars are about accumulating territory, not about killing people. Along the line, and I think it was Vietnam, and we had a general named Westmoreland got obsessed with body counts. That's where the term body count came.
Yeah,
the term
gross.
body count, that's where it came from. It came in Westmoreland, right? Pentagon released memos. So many people we killed, so many people, thinking that would repress them. Impressing humans as it's making progress, we're killing people. And we're all like, was that the purpose of this war, to kill people? And I just kept doing it. And then they would wipe out and say they were enemy combatants when they weren't. They were just civilians living in little huts with no money. Living
specifically what happened there, right, is people got
out villages and saying,
really
body.
Yeah, really, people got really attached to this idea of us versus them, right? Like, all those people are enemies of the state. They really ate the propaganda there.
War is a sickness. It comes from diseased brains. Somebody else has something and I want it. Somebody else has a different religion and they're wrong. It's mindset. Nobody's born wrong. Nobody's born born alien. Nobody's born different. We're all fucking in the same goddamn boat going, what the fuck's going on? Nobody has the answers, even though they pretend they do. That's my little diatribe on that. I hope you have a pun.
Yes.
A Taliban
They're not really
pun?
related to what you're talking about, other than that they're Middle East based.
I'm just trying to end all war, that's all. It's pointless. It's for anybody but rich people. It's the only people it serves. Ever.
What do Middle Eastern carpenters make? Ottomans.
$3.25 an hour? What?
Ottomans.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you when you said it.
Why do Middle Eastern scholars
you're
make
paranoid,
fantastic
but no, at least in my
detectives?
end.
They always find the root cause. Get a Middle Eastern dog's attention. Baklava. Baklava. Never had a baklava. I feel sorry for you. They're very good. They'll give you diabetes instantly, but they're very good.
Brush your teeth thoroughly afterwards.
All right, let's roll on next way. Also, hello, Omlin. Welcome back. I did want to say that. Thank you for coming back to the stream. Next segue for... Are we on my culture news already? We're on my culture news already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Non sequitur. This story is not fun, unfortunately, because we're going to be talking about the brilliant show, Famous Last Words, in which you have an interview with somebody who knows they're about to die on Netflix. This show is on Netflix. And they show the show after that person's died. So it's usually from people who have cancer or some sort of long-term sickness. Non sequitur, by the way.
Are they really old? Or like Jane Goodall?
Yeah, we talked about the Jane Goodall when she passed away. This show's coming up again because Eric Dane has passed away this week, I believe. And a new episode of Famous Last Words has premiered with him. Famous Last Words is a series of interviews conducted with notable names and only released after their death, and it offers an incredible opportunity. This is from Stuart Heritage on The Guardian. Exactly one day after the death of actor Eric Dane, a new show appeared on Netflix. Entitled Famous Last Words, it consisted of an interview with none other than Eric Dane himself. While at first, the timing of the release might have seemed coincidental and at best exploitative at worst, the reality of the interview was something else entirely. Having full consent, first of all, Dane, it transpired, had recorded the interview in full knowledge that he was dying. What's more, he conducted it on the understanding that it would only be released in the event of his death, because this is the conceit. No, not the conceit. Stuart, what are you saying? That's not the conceit. That's not the correct word for that. This is the idea behind Famous Last Words. It exists as a living obituary and an opportunity to go on the record for the very last time to contextualize their life in a manner for their choosing. Clearly then, it is an emotional thing to sit through. In a room with the host Brad Falchuk and nobody else, the cameras are all unmanned and fixed in position, so no leaks. No leaks. Maybe from the editor. Maybe the editor might leak something. Dane went about describing how he was coping with the late-stage ALS, noting that his battles with drugs and alcohol had left him familiar with the sensation that his inside did not match his outside. He discussed the regrets he had and the struggle to forgive himself for his past mistakes, and then 7 minutes from the end, Falchuk left the room. What followed was undeniably powerful. Looking straight at the camera, just him and the camera, Dane addressed his 2 teenage daughters, urging them to stay in the present and fight through adversity. "You are my heart," he concluded. "You are my everything. Good night. I love you. Those are my last words." And then I cry because I'm very weak to father-daughter stuff. Anyways, I will not cry in the middle of this story, but I will hold back the tears. This was the second episode of Famous Last Words. The first airing happened last October, 2 days after the death of Jane Goodall. In that episode, similarly recorded before her death, in the knowledge that it would be released afterwards, she urged viewers not to give up hope, reminding them that individuals can make a difference. Presumably, more episodes will come in time. Based on the Danish format Dit Sidste Ord, Famous Last Words has the potential to become a jewel in Netflix's crown. It will never get gigantic ratings because it's very sad. People are unlikely to absentmindedly say, "Oh, what is this?" Have it on the background while they scroll through TikTok on their phones. It is an idea that demands your full attention. Yeah, give these people respect. Quite honesty, it needs a bit of a run-up. There's something unmistakable confronting about watching people reflect on their lives in the context of their imminent death, and it won't be for everyone. But it is important. There's a closeness here to what Mark Maron used to do on WTF, where he would reissue interviews with people after their death. But this is far more solemn and tender. At the time they were recorded, Maroon's interviews were just interviews recorded while the subjects were alive and healthy. An elegiac gravitas you might have felt, you had to infer yourself. Famous Last Words is far more explicit than that. Everyone involved knows that the subject has reached their final stretch, and watching them attempt to pass on the knowledge and wisdom they have had amassed while they still can is profoundly moving. And it will only become more moving as the library grows. You wonder if, as its reputation continues to blossom, Famous Last Words will become something that more and more people agree to do. To have a chance to set the record straight, to remind everyone who you really were before your legacy becomes distorted by other voices, must be extremely tempting. And as the library grows, you might find yourself with a better understanding of how humans deal with the end of their life. Just 2 episodes in, and people have seen a difference in how a subject chooses to address the wide scope, God-eyes view of humanity offered by Goodall, and Dane's laser focus on his daughters. More will come. A little of last year's documentary Pee-wee as himself, unbeknown to the crew, Paul Rubens was dying of cancer during filming. While he was often elusive during the on-camera interviews, he sent the director a voicemail the day before he died where he opened up about his 2002 arrest, where art was seized that the police categorized as child sexual abuse images. His hurt about the incident was palpable. More than anything, the reason I wanted to make a documentary to let people see who I really am, and how painful and difficult it was to be labeled something that I wasn't, a pedophile, he said. I wanted somehow for people to understand that my whole career, everything I did and wrote, was based on love. So there will be inevitable episodes of Famous Last Words where subjects try to correct the historical record, or will still try to settle old scores. Some subjects will be scared, others angry, many performative. However, they race through with an honor to allow us to see them like this. A couple of decades from now, Famous Last Words is going to be one of the most fascinating resources we will have. What a thing that is. So there's Stuart's, I guess, kind of a review, semi-review on Famous Last Words, which, in case you haven't heard about it, honestly, I thought they had more episodes than just 2. I thought it had been going for a while, but yeah, we talked about here on Before Coffee with Jane Goodall when she passed away. So it's a very interesting series, and you should definitely check it out if you have the guts to check it out, because I know a lot of people have a very hard time dealing with death. I don't have any difficulties dealing with death. I'm not scared to feel those feelings about it. So, very interesting show. And I love crying. I love crying, especially if it's something worth crying about. But that's my culture segment. I hope you have a non sequitur for me. I think you're muted still. And also thank you for the 115 stream streak, Omlin.
Nice. I didn't want you to hear my keyboard thing.
Yeah.
So I muted myself.
Clickety clackety.
You're familiar with Cameo, right? Cameo?
Yeah.
A celebrity to read a birthday greeting or whatever. Cameo should do this too, or maybe this. Like you get a celebrity, you send them your own obituary, and they read it for you. They say, "Hi, I'm Kevin Bacon, reading this guy's obituary," whoever.
I mean, I think that's why memoirs are so important, right? Because for a lot of celebrities, or just people in general, right? A memoir is like this is my last word on all of this shit that I did in my life, okay? Read this, leave me alone, peace out, bye.
I'm afraid they just get a thought to do it. That's what I worry about that. Oh shit, It's not even really Kevin Bacon, it's a AI.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. It's like, oh, that's not even real. That somebody made this. Oh god, not this shit again. And there's our non sequitur. Let's roll our final segue for this day in history and get Friday done. On to the weekend where you guys, yet again, will not be paying attention to the news. Thank you. I'll give you a hypothetical on something in history. What if that never happened, I guess?
Hey, this day in history, all the way back to...
Also, is this video you sent me? This lyric video? The mic drop today?
Yeah, that's what it is. I sent it yesterday, I think, right? Yeah. I was just trying to download it myself so I didn't have to do it later, and that's why I muted, because I was keyboard tapping. Tap, 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 tap.
Yeah.
All right, so my mic is right next to the keyboard. There's no way to... 17th this day, the Revolutionary War was going on at the Moores Creek Bridge. North Carolinian revolutionaries defeated Loyalists during the Battle of American Revolution, thwarting a British invasion into southern colonies. It all seems like utter futility nowadays, right? It's like, what's the point in being independent? We're just going to be a bunch of bootlicking, fascist-licking losers anyway. 1807, poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, known for works such as Song of the Hiawatha and Paul Revere's Ride. You know Henry Longfellow was born now Maine. Maine was not a state in 1807. It was broken off later, and they decided, you all are too weird to be in Massachusetts, you maniacs.
Imagine that.
And separate Maine into mass holes to the south, to the north. 1886, American lawyer and politician Hugo Black was born. As a Supreme Court justice, was known for his support of the doctrine of total incorporation. I don't know what that means. It sounds like he's a corporate shill, though.